24 hours ago, we're here talking about the build-up to the Women's FA Cup final. Today, we are talking about the build-up to the Men's FA Cup final. This is happening on Sunday, and it will happen in the Northern Region's capital of Tamale. It's between Ghana's two biggest clubs, Asante Kotoko and Heart of Oak, and the build-up has been quite something. It's been big, especially in the last 2 weeks. In studio with me, Selwyn Saki, for us to look at the permutations, but in the last hour and a half or so, there's been a bit of breaking news. What's happening, Selwyn?
Yeah, we just had a letter from the Ministry of Youth and Sports signed by the Deputy Minister of Youth, Pius Haji, just saying that the FA Cup match, which was scheduled for 5 p.m. on Sunday, should be moved back to 3 p.m. to play between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. so that...
That is the letter we have on your screens. Information reaching the ministry, it reads, concerning the MTN FA Cup final between Kumasi Asante Kotoko Football Club and Accra Heart of Oak Sporting Club in Tamale, indicates that organizers of the match have scheduled to start the match at 5 p.m. on Sunday, 29th October. As a matter of concern, the ministry wishes to direct that the match be played between the hours of 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. This has become necessary after considering all the safety precautions and taking into account the long distance to be traveled by fans and supporters of the two clubs from Accra, Kumasi and other parts of the country. The ministry will therefore be grateful if the above directive is strictly adhered to by the MTN FA Cup committee. We count on your kind cooperation, and wish both teams and the MTN FA Cup organizers the best of luck in this regard. And as Selwyn said, it's signed by the Deputy Sports Minister, copying the chairman of the MTN FA Cup committee and the GFA, as well as the Northern Regional Minister, the Director General of the National Sports Authority, and then the President of the GFA, and so on and so forth. So, security implications. What I can also tell you is that another reason why the ministry has written this is, if you have been following JoyNews, you have been conversant with some of the other clashes that have been happening in the Northern region in particular, regarding other chieftaincy issues and other things not related to football. Now, the fear is that some of the groups aligned to the various factions and political parties will be at the stadium, and if you have them in the daylight, the security agencies will be able to deal with any flashpoints that may emerge at the Tamale Sports Stadium, rather than having to deal with them after 5 p.m. When you probably have a trophy presentation and so on and so forth. So that's the background. But hopefully the football will come on, and we are sure the football will come on. We also know that Fancy Gadam, the very highly rated musician, will also be the headline act to open the occasion. There'll also be a curtain raiser. But as to the football itself, Heart of Oak and Kotoko, Heart have been building up to the competition with their last game that they played, haven't they? Yeah, they have, and they spoke to Frank Nuttall. He spoke about not feeling any pressure. He spoke about management and he loving the job, and there's no pressure. For Steve Pollack, he keeps on talking about how he's preparing his team for the encounter. But for Accra House of Oak, I think with the form of their players, that's why they are comfortable, and then they don't have any problems playing this game. And Heart of Oak are coming back on the heel of, I'm not sure whether you call it a successful league season, because at the start of the season, they might not have expected to finish where they did and even above Kotoko. So confidence in camp is a bit high. Kumasi Asante Kotoko are facing some stick from their fans, because at the beginning of the season, if you recall, a lot of people said they had the best individual players in the league, but hey, they didn't finish even in the top 4. So players wise, team news wise, any injuries to report? No injuries at all, and all the teams are fit. Everyone is playing well, but the records look like they're going in favor of Kotoko if you look at their FA Cup records. And the last time the two teams met in 1990, Kotoko won 4-2. But the one thing also they have to look at is that Accra House of Oak and Kotoko playing in the final on the neutral grounds. Kotoko has never ever beaten Heart of Oak. Interesting stats there. Also, something we can look at is the fact that in 1990, when Asante Kotoko did win on the field, as he said, on penalties, Heart of Oak won in the boardroom. So that victory has been given to Heart of Oak technically. But the interesting thing that happened again is that even though the trophy was given to Heart of Oak in the boardroom, Kotoko never gave the trophy to Heart. So we are not sure. Technically, the trophy that was won in 1990 is still with Kotoko as we speak. So that's over to you to judge who the winner is. But the records show that Heart of Oak won that. So we are finishing on the sport on Pulse. Anything else we need to know? I mean, for those going to Tamale, why is this a special game?
Oh yeah, it's a very special game, and one thing that we have to look out for is that we've heard that both teams will be wearing fugu in their colors, in their team colors. So Accra Folk will be in fugu in the rainbow colors, and then Kumasi Asante Kotoko in their fugu in red. In
the red and the black and the green. And as you know, the traditional colors of Kotoko is not red, it's actually green and black with a bit of yellow in it. Those are the traditional colors of Asante Kotoko. Thank you very much, Selwyn Saki, for your analysis. And that's the Sport on Pulse. We will be back, I will be back at 8:30 to bring you the latest, especially from the international scene. Selwyn and I will be back at 10:30 for all the day's action and highlights. I'm Gary L. Smith. See you.